The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
Monday, the first day of July, 2024. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medicals, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. I'm Jamel Hartman, and Maya Palacio will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Happy Monday, everybody. It's, July 1st already. July 1st already. That means we've made it through the first 6 months of the calendar year. The first 6 months of the calendar year are behind us. How's everybody feeling this morning? Everybody good? Everyone happy? Everyone, you know what else today represents? Today also represents, it's officially cut match season. And I've been pretty good. I have not trash talked all year. I ain't gonna be bought into it either. But I haven't trash talked all year. I've been disciplined. I've been extremely disciplined because my team, you all know who my team is going to do their talking on the field. So I have no reason to trash talk anymore. I am confident that this is our year. So I'll leave it at that. But anyway, happy July. Hopefully everyone had a great weekend. Everyone's gearing to go on this first day of the traditional work week and officially cup match season. So big up to everyone out there who wears blue and blue. Yeah, it's hard for me though. It's hard for me because, you know, people say don't get caught in the wrong colors this time of year. But as a North Village, Baylor's Bay, and former Manchester United fan, all my teams were red except for St. George's. So it's pretty hard, pretty difficult for me, but I manage. So if I can manage not to wear red during the month of July, then nobody else has an excuse. All right? Let's just put that out there. All righty. Let's, greetings, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we discuss the importance of bike rentals for Bermuda's tourism market. You know, everybody was talking about it last week, and we'll visit that. The daily play is Who Said It? Who Said It? As you can see, I have no co-host today, so someone will be entering this week's draw to be eligible for a prize. Don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. All right, let's jump into today's conversation, folks. Good morning to you. An awesome Monday to you as well, Suzanne Ingham. She says, awesome Monday, Jamel and TDH team. And good morning to you, Karen Simmons. She says, good morning, TDH. And Charles H. Shuffs II says, with all due respect, you tried the no trash talk thing last year. Let's go. Well, I did, but I only lasted to like May. I've made it an additional month this year, Charles. Right? I think I'm good. I think this is our year, Charles. I'm telling you, this is our year, St. George's. It is our year. Mark Arthur C. Phillips says, good morning, TDHM. Folks, do us a favor before we even start today's conversation. Do us a favor. Give us a thumbs up, a love, a like, and make sure you share this conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Hopefully, I don't know if Maya has it in her news break today. I saw someone on her recap on LinkedIn ask for us to delve deeper on the merger between the Argus Group and BF&M, maybe in a subsequent episode. But it was another topic that was pretty hot last week on local social media. And that was, if you didn't see it, the Royal Gazette had an article titled "Stop Discouraging Bike Rentals," says livery cycle owner. And basically, it was Nick Thompson of the what's that Scooter Mart and Elbow Beach Cycles. He owns, right? And basically, he said rental cycles are the best way to unlock Bermuda, right? To move around Bermuda. So I want to get your opinion. What are your thoughts on the impact of moped rentals to tourists? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the impact of moped rentals to tourists? And yes or no, because this is a topic we've had before. Do you believe moped rentals should be banned to visitors? Do you think that moped rentals, yes, just a simple yes or no, do you think that moped rentals should be banned to visitors in Bermuda? Do you believe that moped rentals should be banned to visitors in Bermuda? Very simple, yes or no. Do you believe that they should be banned? Now, I don't have any stats or data in front of me to say that tourists are more likely to get in collisions on a moped than in an electrical vehicle, or some other form of transportation. What I will say, let me share with you what I observed last week. Two things. I was waiting for a cab, and at the bottom of the hill, and these tourists were coming over the hill and drove right up into a driveway, thinking that was the way they were going. The husband had to ask the wife to get off because he couldn't turn around. They almost fell. And he said, "We're such amateurs." I'm like, "No, you're just tourist." The second instant is coming off that same hill because it was an accident over by Gulfstream, a collision. Sorry, let me get my grammar correct. A collision, and coming over on the wrong side of the road. And between my father and the cab driver behind him, trying to tell them get on the right side of the road. However, I mean, Maya's probably shared this with us before. We have to make educated decisions. And I'm not quite sure that if you look at the ratio of tourists renting bikes to collisions, I don't think it's that great to say that we probably need to ban them. But what are your thoughts on this? I'm not trying to tell you what to think. Do you believe moped rentals should be banned to visitors? Karen Simmons says no. Sean DeShield says no. Rondell Richardson says no. Pamela Wade says no. Okay, no, yes out there. Okay, this is interesting. Anyone else out there? What are your thoughts? Come on, a lot of you tuned in. Do you believe that moped rentals should be banned to tourists? Yes or no? Just an easy yes or no question. Do you believe that moped rentals should be banned to tourists? Yes or no? And also, what are your thoughts on the impact of moped rentals to tourists? What are your thoughts? I mean, Mr. Thompson believes that we need to stop discouraging people, right, from renting the cycles. He's a believer that we need to stop discouraging people from renting the cycles. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that he has a point? Do you think he has a point? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that? Let's go back to the audience. Derek Hendrickson says, no, ban a little aggressive. Okay. Maurice Foley says, not banned. However, the tourists should be vetted and asked if they've ridden prior. Yeah, I agree. Dwayne Nolan says, no. Okay. And Suzanne Ingham says, no to those who can ride bikes, deny those who do not know how to ride. All right. So we've got that out of the way. So it seems like the consensus is no, don't ban them. But what are your thoughts on the impact of moped rentals to tourists? What are your thoughts on the impact? Obviously, we have so many different options, right? Now we do. I remember when I was working in Bermuda tourism, one of the concerns from many were you could not rent cars, right? Bermuda was one of the few places people couldn't rent their own cars. You had to, the only way you can have independent transportation was a moped rental. Now you have electric vehicles, right? You have a couple of different companies doing it, two-seaters. You also have, obviously, the cab situation. You have the new thing that's coming with the government rideshare program. So there are more options. With more options, I don't think there's a need for a ban. I don't know what the contract looks like when people, sign up to ride these. But let me just go to the article. So the article from the Rogue Set says more visitors renting cycles would substantially improve Bermuda tourism if only locals would stop warning tourists against them, a livery cycle owner has insisted. I want to know your thoughts. Do you believe, like seriously, audience, do you believe that this is true? Because this just seems like a business owner, with all due respect, whose business is being impacted. But what are your thoughts on the impact of moped rentals to tourists? Do you think that if Bermudians encourage more people to rent mopeds, it would improve our tourism? Like, I had never thought of that angle. Like, what are your thoughts on that? He said the number of visitors who opt for cycle rentals has declined considerably since the heyday of Bermuda tourism. Well, that could be because there's much less tourists, but okay, maybe there's not when you consider the cruise ships. Businessman Nick Thompson, who bought Elbow Beach Cycles and Paget 2 years ago, claimed many Bermudians are telling tourists to rent mini electric cars instead. But I think, Mr. Thompson, that might be just them thinking that it's safer, right? All right, he goes on to say rental cycles are the best way to unlock Bermuda's essence. Renting a cycle can be the most exhilarating part of a Bermuda vacation. What are your thoughts on all of this, audience? What are your thoughts on this? Is this a business owner who's only looking out for their pocket? Is this like what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Because I'm going to be honest with you. From a tourist perspective, from a business perspective, I understand him, but I would probably say be a bit honest about that. I understand him. From a safety perspective, I'm just going to scan the article one more time because okay, so he does say everything has some danger. Cars are dangerous too. In fact, he thought it was the element of risk that made things more fun. However, he said his firm was very concerned with ensuring the safety of customers. See, I would have probably, Mr. Thompson, it would have probably been better to use some statistical data that you can probably find from Media Maya to actually make your point, because right now that came across a bit self-serving. Does that make sense? You probably should have said, the chances of a visitor getting in a collision on a moped is this versus that. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. All right. Let's go back to the audience. Again, what are your thoughts, audience? What are your thoughts on the impact moped rentals have on tourism? What are your thoughts? Let's go. One Day Bermudez. Oh, what a name. Great morning. Safe, reliable transportation is important to our visitors and our people who provide services to them. The better the variety of transportation options, less reliance on two wheels. I agree, and I like where we're going with it. I think, we have a lot of minibuses on the road now. We have the cabs. We have the electrical vehicles. I don't think it's about one over the other. It should be about what is most convenient, comfortable, and safe to each individual tourist, if that makes sense. But I do believe the more options, the better. Charles H. Jefferson II, he says, I don't feel like we have enough information to make an informed decision, but the eye test tells me that bikes are not nearly as safe as EVs, electric vehicles. I know bikes are part of our history, but I'm with Charles right there. I don't think we have statistical data to make an informed decision on this. But based on the eye, one would probably say an electrical vehicle could be a bit safer. I don't know. Manuela John says, I, on a couple of occasions, have driven on the wrong side of the street in other countries, so I understand that takes concentration. I've done that in Bermuda. I mean, I've driven in the US much longer than I've driven in Bermuda. So, I mean, I've done it. I'll be very honest with you. Every time I'm in Bermuda, I really have to remember which side I do. When I'm on the bike, I have to look at other traffic sometimes when I'm just getting on to remember. So I get that, but it's all about concentration, right? Diana Gilbert says they need to be trained properly. Well, I don't know. Maybe they are being trained properly. Derek Hendrickson says, sounded like a sales pitch to me. That's what it came across as to me. That's what it came across as to me, Derek. It came across like he cared more about making money than it did him caring about the safety of visitors. Mark Palacio says, does he share stats on how many collisions happen with the bikes he rents, tours he rents to? No, that's what I was saying, Maya. That's what I was saying. He, according to this, he doesn't share any stats in this article. It doesn't seem. The most he said is everything has some danger. Cars are dangerous too. In fact, he thought it was the element of risk that made things more fun. So that statement right there, the element of risk that made things more fun, that sounds irresponsible. Or is it me? Is it me? Be honest. Like, look, I have nothing against Nick Thompson, Elbow Beach Cycles. I'm just trying to make sense of this. And my hope is that people will visit Bermuda and experience Bermuda in the best way they enjoy, like in a way that they deem comfortable. I don't think that Elbow Beach Cycles or tourist rental mopeds is the enemy. I don't think that's the enemy here, folks. Let me be clear. But I would like to understand, if I had my friends from the US visiting Bermuda, let me ask you all. You know what? I'm going to put it on you all. Maya's got friends in Canada. I got friends throughout the US. You all have friends throughout the world because Bermudians are like that. You all are like stray cats. You go somewhere and you meet somebody and you want to bring them home. Yeah, we're like that, right? We have the stray cat symptom. Would you advise any of your friends to rent a moped if they came to Bermuda tomorrow? Me personally, I've seen the way some of them drive. My answer is no. I'm just saying. I'll be like, look, I got my boy Jadal, Uncle Larry. They could drive you wrong, but don't rent anything. But that's just me. That's just me. But would you all encourage any of your friends or family who you've never seen ride? Would you encourage them to rent a moped in Bermuda if they were to come tomorrow? Let us know. All right. So again, what are your thoughts on the impact of mopeds, moped rentals to tourists? Diana Gilbert says, if bike riders appear nervous, then they should not be reconsidered. That should be reconsidered to prevent accidents. Got you. Before they leave the rental bike place. Derek Hendrickson says, and our road conditions don't help. That's a good point. Like, Bermudians can just about operate in Bermuda's current road conditions. Pothole there. And the thing is, most Bermudians take the same routes so they know where the potholes are. Can you imagine a tourist doesn't know this is a big pothole spot? Rosaldo Severin says maybe he needs to change his business model for better safety. Well, there's a noble idea. Yeah. Sometimes it's the owners that need to adapt. Charles H. Jefferson II, he says, I also don't think tourists dying in our roads should be the measuring stick. I think people are more likely to get seriously hurt on a bike, and we want everyone to leave here safely and come back. Well, I don't think dying. I think more collisions, not dying. And I think Maya says that all the time. You know, we always think we measure it by fatalities, and it shouldn't be measured by that, right? Collisions, and they don't always have to be serious collisions, folks. So, but yeah, Charles, I get your point. Derek Hendrickson says the element of risk is a young person's idea of fun. That's crazy, though, right? Because yeah, that statement is interesting. Diana Gilbert says riding for 30 minutes or so in a park is not enough time to put them on the road, in my opinion. Shikarena says, I have discouraged friends from renting a moped. I see how they. That's exactly me. I wouldn't want. I've seen my friends drive in the US. I've seen them operate vehicles. So I'm like, nah, it's probably not in your best interest. It's not a good idea. Suzanne Ingham says those minibuses keep speeding and overtaking vehicles. Oh, she said such and such did it yesterday. He was bouncing all over the road. My goodness. Well, hopefully our friends at BPS or whoever oversees that sees them. Michelle White says, no, I will take time off to drive them around regarding her friends. Rosalda Severin says, no, she wouldn't encourage her friends visiting. She said, not if they can't already ride. Okay. Suzanne Ingham says, no, I'll take you or I'll get a friend to. No bikes. No. I think it's an element of guilt for me. It's an element of guilt. If something happened to a friend or a family of mine visiting Bermuda, I would feel slight guilt if something did occur. WKD Lama said one of my first jobs, sorry, was an instructor at Elbow Speech Cycles. There were many people who I said no to. That's responsible. Charles H. Justice II says, I wonder how many tourist collisions go unreported. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, that incident I came to the other day when they were driving up their own driveway, almost drove into a wall, that would have been unreported because I would have just said it. Are you okay? Are you good? Da-da-da. And if the bike only had a little scratch, no one would have known, right? So interesting conversation, but I hope you all had a chance to read that story. It was very interesting by Mr. Thompson. Again, Nick Thompson, who but you know what? In fairness, let's read some of the reviews for them on TripAdvisor. So we had the Royal Gazette did share those, and they said, Ruth H said, we enjoyed the 5-day rental enormously, more freedom to come and go as we wished. And Dana B had said, having a scooter for the entire week made the trip much better than their last visit. So there were people who backed up his claim that it's the best way to see Bermuda based on however they got around prior. But who's to know how they got around prior? If they got around prior in cabs, they probably had to wait. Weren't, they couldn't go in as they pleased. If they had an electric vehicle, maybe the experience would have been the same and more comfortable. We don't know. We don't know. Diana Gilbert says, I don't want to have my friends and family on any rental vehicles in Bermuda. So I put the in Bermuda part because we're talking about Bermuda. What are your thoughts? You know what? Let's bring Maya in. We're going to continue the conversation. Let's bring Maya in for Daily Hour News Break. We'll definitely continue after the break, but keep your mind flowing. Let's keep our thoughts flowing on this. I wish we could hear her.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, MP, I thought you were silencing yourself today. I thought you were protesting something. How are you feeling about today's conversation?
I'm always interested in these type of conversations when it comes to Bermuda's roads and, traffic safety and just like overall how we even manage, how we even build our roads or like sidewalks. So yes, I'm very intrigued in this conversation. Again, like you mentioned, and like I questioned, I couldn't find the article that you were reading from, but I was thinking like, is there statistics in it? Because that will go a long way. And like, obviously we don't want to measure things by like fatalities, but as an owner of a business, if you're going to make these statements, it'd be good to include something about, hey, I could actually prove that it's not like this isn't the cause of something. Like doing this is not the cause of what you guys believe it might be. If someone's accusing you of something, then it's helpful to put something out there that says you are incorrect, other than just a statement.
But that's what Maya, honestly, that's what I was looking for. I was hoping for his sake that he had some of that. I was hoping so, because if you're trying to tell people stop doing something because of that, you want to bring a bit of data because people, it makes the argument easier, right? It helps.
Yeah, it helps. It truly does help. And again, like for news entities like myself and the show, it's just great for us to even be able to put those out there to the public so that they are also aware that, it's not the issue that they think it is. It helps.
Yeah.
Facts, they do help.
Indeed. Yeah. All right. What you got in the Daily Hour News Break for us, MP?
Well, good morning, everyone. This is your Daily Hour News Break brought to you by the great people at People's Pharmacy. So, starting out your news, despite the multiple collisions that were being reported last week here on the show of serious injuries, leg and facial damages, and the wrecked vehicles as well, police have reported more incidents. Now, Jamal, yourself, you mentioned last week about the collision that left 2 young men on motorcycles with serious leg abrasions and also a broken leg after collision that occurred in Devonshire. Well, the most recent one actually occurred on Sunday, and our Sunday's report says that on Sunday, on June 30th, police and other first responders were dispatched to a report of a single vehicle collision along Middle Road near the junction with Luke's Pond Road in Southampton. Our information suggests that a male rider on a motorcycle was in the easterly direction and they hit a wall, causing him to fall off the motorcycle. So it was a single vehicle collision. Yes. And anyone who may have witnessed this is please ask to call 211. He has been transported to the hospital for his injuries as well.
Oh boy. Hopefully that's the last one we have to report this week. It's been too many. Slow down, pay attention. Just be responsible, folks.
Indeed. I mean, and this is just the start of it, truthfully.
Yeah. And sending that young person, that gentleman, healing vibes, hopefully make a full recovery very quickly.
Yes, of course. Meanwhile, the premier says that more than 150 posts in the public service need to be filled. Now, he's trying to fill these posts by introducing a public service career guide targeted to high school and college students. Let's listen in for a little bit more.
Some of these posts are pilots, marine operations controllers, public health specialists, compliance officers, engineers, accountants, and even auto mechanics. The guide will be sent to schools through principals and guidance counselors, promoted on social media, and supported by a campaign to promote job-specific training programs to find new talent willing to be trained in some areas. The service will soon launch a drive to recruit trainees as roles for pilots and maritime controllers, and recruitment for other training programs will follow as we invest for a future in our public service.
Now, he also mentioned how there's been like some gaps when it comes to education and getting qualifications for Bermudians to fill these positions.
150 public service jobs. Interesting.
More.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are thinking this, so I'm gonna just ask it. I think people are wondering where's the money coming from, because I thought that a couple of years ago they were saying they're eliminating jobs through retirement and the like. But also, I think, and I know the government will do this, understanding the exact positions and responsibilities. It's better to have them as actual roles in government, or maybe privatization, stuff like that. So I'm interested in learning more.
All right, we'll follow up on that. Well, next in your news, the Minister of Education says that he has been monitoring the public's response since he made the announcement restating the closure of Gilbert Institute and Prospect Primary for the end of June of 2025. So let's listen into a little bit more of what he had to say about what they're trying to accomplish.
Both schools were notified before the public announcement, and subsequent meetings were held at each school site with staff and parents on Tuesday of this week. During these meetings, which were facilitated by the school principals and representatives from the Department of Education and the Education Reform Unit, more detailed information about staffing, decisions, school transfers, assistance for parents, and other logistics were discussed. The Department of Education will be working to ensure the transition is as seamless as possible and will facilitate a comprehensive implementation plan focusing on supporting students, their families, and staff.
You know, I don't. Let me be very clear, because I had a couple of experiences in Bermuda, and I share a lot. Maya's my right, my left hand, and I'm going to say it on the show. I think people have me mistaken, right? People think, if there's one thing I want people to understand, is I'm not bitching, moaning, and complaining about politicians simply because of the politicians or whatever. I believe in accountability and expect that people are going to do the same to me. In saying that, I know how people feel about the education minister and the government overall, but I actually appreciate the approach towards school closures in this respect. Larry has said it over and over on this show. We've said it over and over on this show. We just don't have so many students. I think what we've discussed more so is, what do we do with the buildings that they're closing? Now, I appreciate what he said just now, is they had these conversations with the schools and, prior to going public. Well, I would hope so, Minister. I would hope you wouldn't even have to say that. But you brought that on yourself because of how you all have moved before, right? But I want to get past this, because I feel like the school closure thing has taken over the most important aspect of it all, and that's what the children are learning. So.
No, indeed, yeah, we could continue this conversation forever, but in that saying that these plans have been something that this government has tried to do, since I can't remember the first time I wrote an article about it, before they're even sitting in power as our government. But then, yes, in 2021, which I mentioned on the show probably a few weeks ago, about like when they actually decided what schools are going to be closed and so on and so forth. So I think the main thing is, I think most people, and I think Raj can actually attest to this when he was on the show, like, people do want to change the educational system. It's just a communication. So in this sense, maybe speaking to the schools prior to, maybe that's built a different relationship. Maybe things are getting better in the lines of communication. Now, furthermore, about $6 million will be spent on a new asphalt equipment with the company called Aztec. Here's a little bit more.
In addition, Aztec offered free training to public officers assigned to the asphalting team. Cost of this agreement is $6,197,470 for new equipment, with the first items being delivered in September, these being the screening plant, shuttle buggy, and asphalt paver. The remaining equipment is expected to be delivered by the end of this calendar year, and the new plant ready to begin production in April 2025.
Now, I'm not
I'm
Now, I'm
sorry.
not entirely sure how long actual equipment is supposed to last, and I should have looked this up before the show, so I apologize. But he did say that the new equipment is expected to last him about 20 years. So $6 million investment for something that's meant to last about 20 years.
Okay. Well, I want to congratulate the people driving down by Collectors Hill there, because I see you finally got the paved road down there, and we just hope that we can move along and get the island back to smooth roads. So $6 million investment for 20 years. Honestly, I think people will say, you know what, just spend the money, fix our roads so that my car won't have to get beat up every day.
And there will be also some training purposes too, that the company will be giving to the people in Bermuda who are already working in that area, that they'll be getting trained with these new devices too.
Sure.
So in other news, again, reminding the public from the police that there are still two missing teens, Raquel Sequeira and also Marcel Williams. So if you have seen these two, 15-year-old Raquel Sequeira and 16-year-old Marcel Williams, please contact the police or the Department of Child and Family Services at 278-9111.
Are they supposedly missing together? Are they together? Are they staying?
That wasn't mentioned, but they did go missing on the same day in the same area, but just at different times.
Okay. Well, folks, it's summertime. If you see them, people are usually out. Just let them know somebody loves them, someone cares about them, and people are looking for them.
Indeed. Now, in our sports-related news, as I mentioned on the show last week, so Jack Harvey and Emma Harvey, the siblings, qualified for the Olympic Games. I got to speak to them over the weekend, and they actually spoke to me about what it felt like watching each other qualify for the iconic Olympic Games. Here's a little bit.
When Emma qualified, I wasn't there. I was in Bermuda. I remember it was, so Barcelona was obviously a couple hours ahead. So it was just around lunchtime, and it was just me and my dad sitting in the room, just waiting on the results, waiting for the notification to pop up. And I remember, so I think it was, we didn't get the notification, like the results notification. It was my mom that texted my dad that she got the time. And it was just like, I remember it was completely silent, and then all of a sudden my dad just starts screaming and jumping around, and it's like, whoa, he just said Emma got it, and just started running around, and it was exciting, and I mean it was an awesome time, definitely.
I don't think I would have been able to perform the way I did if Jack hadn't already achieved the consideration standard, just because being able to see him go out and achieve that time that we've both been chasing for the last 18 months, it was kind of okay, this dream is going to be real for one of us, it's going to be real for me too. And I think that was just that extra bit of motivation, but also belief that I've seen how much he's improved over the last year. So it's kind of we can both do it, and it just gave me that extra fire, and it really, really helped me a lot.
No, I love that. I love that. He seemed so excited. She's like, yeah, I knew. It just had a different vibe.
That is so funny that you say that, because in the full interview that'll be out this week, I would say the opposite. You'll hear a message from Emma that's honestly so hilarious. She's very superstitious. Jack, on the other hand, is not. When I tell you, he's the coolest type of athlete that you'll probably meet. He's zoned in, is focused, that you can't really talk to him before. Versus Emma would be listening to soca music and everything before she actually gets in the water. So yeah, they have definitely opposite vibes, but
I love that for them. Honestly, I love that for them. That's really cool.
Indeed. Well, you'll be seeing that this week on my platform. I'll let you guys know when it's up on the show as well. But as for the weather today, looking like a mix of sun and clouds with a couple of early showers as well. High humidity. We're getting up to 84 degrees today. 84 degrees. Almost hitting the 90s, guys. So it's going to be hot and humid out there in Bermuda.
You can have that. Maya, did we get any word? Because I'm trying to find out if that guy that was drafted, people are saying a Bermudian was drafted in the NHL, Blake Montgomery. Do we have any confirmation of whether he's Bermudian or not?
did not get any confirmation on that. No.
Yeah, Bermuda, find that out for us. You all like to do like social media, snooping and stuff. Let us know if this
I'll send some messages today.
Yeah, that's what you Canucks do up there, right? That's what they're called, right? Canucks. Yeah.
Nobody says that, Jamal.
Sorry. I'm probably back in the 80s. It's Days of the Year, though. Folks, this is my favorite Days of the Year. Well, not my favorite, but one of my favorite. Guess what today is?
Monday.
Well, yeah. Anyway, today is International Reggae Day. International Reggae Day. So we're going to ask you, audience, you have to let us know who's your favorite reggae artist and your favorite reggae song. Maya, go first.
Well, it's so cliche. I feel like everyone's gonna say about Bob Marley because I could listen to Chase Those Crazy Boys like every single day and repeat. Like that's like my go-to. I'm about to clean the house song, and I just be skanking and just cleaning with that song in the background. So it's gotta be.
All right. So Bob Marley, Chase Those Crazy Boys. So real quickly, while you all are answering, reggae, actually born out of ska and rocksteady genres in the 60s, is basically a movement quickly gained distinction. And if you remember, Bob Marley was a big part of that. And it really became popular through English-speaking nations such as the United States, United Kingdom, and Australia. It's often been considered a style of music that is perceived as the voice of the oppressed people, particularly as a rejection of the white man culture. Some of the specific guitar effects called skengray that developed out of ska music are meant to sound like ricocheting guns and a nod to the sounds of the ghetto streets in Kingston. Reggae became a powerful style of music with deep roots by the time Bob Marley joined the scene. On its influence has never really stopped growing. And more than half a century since, the style of reggae has definitely made its mark and spread wide with tons of different styles and variations popping up. Audience, let us know your favorite reggae artist and favorite song of all time. Okay, so yes, Blake Montgomery has Bermudian ties. His mother, uncle is Dr. the Honor Hewitt Brown. All right, so we do have a Bermudian. Yeah. All right, so favorite reggae artist, we've got Bob Marley. Come on, folks. Who else? Who's your favorite? We've got Leroy Gibbons, This Magic Moment. I'll tell you mine. I mean, mine is easy. Barris Hammond. And either Warriors Don't Cry or No Disturb Sign. Those would be my favorites right there. So Barris Hammond. Where you at? No Buju fans out there? Come on now. We're Three Little Birds, Bob Marley, says Diana Gilbert. I can't go wrong. See another Barris Hammond. There we go. Says Karen Simmons. Roselda Severin says Nesta, Redemption Song. All right. Maya, you just seem like a Bob Marley crazy old heads kind of person.
My mother was obsessed with Bob. She used to say that was her first husband. So yeah, I used to listen to Bob. Was like every Sunday in the car, in the house. That's what we played. And I'll be out here with his granddaughter, like, and helping her with a couple of her stuff. Like it's been a pretty big connection out here now for me too. So it's just it's stuck.
Well, I think Charles speaks for everyone. We need a video of Maya skanking while doing homework. I think we do. Yeah. Dennis Brown says WKD Llama. Dennis Brown. Revolution's my favorite Dennis Brown song. Yeah. All right. We'll see you tomorrow. We're going to take a quick break, come back, continue the conversation. A lot of people have a lot of things to say about the tourist rentals. So you have a wonderful day, MP. We'll be back in 2 minutes, 27 seconds. Stick with us.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be. I choose People's, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it People's, I call it my one-stop shop in the city. People's, we're here for you.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level. Wake up in the morning with enough coffee to keep you running throughout the entire day. Your pet at home deserves the best. Stock up on dog food to keep your puppy happy. Need a quick tasty lunch at home? Your chicken nuggets will be jumping right out of the freezer. What's a movie night without popcorn? You can never have too much. Lindo's Next Level. Why go anyplace else?
It took 14 days to build your business plan, 6 months to build the courage to leave your day job, 3 weeks to find the perfect location. It took 10 days to outfit your space just right. And 1 day before your first client walked in the door. All totaled, it took you a full year to get your business operational. And this is just the beginning. To the entrepreneurs, the risk takers, the people that shape our economic community, we salute you and are here for you every step of the way. BEDC, providing knowledgeable, progressive, professional, and innovative support to Bermuda businesses.
Summer is almost here. Dive into the season with dog floats and dog pools. Enjoy 20% off West Paula's dog floating toys and shop our life jackets for safety in the water this summer. Get all your summer needs before the holidays and events begin. Don't forget to stock up on poo bags and check out Dicky Bags, the poo bag holder that locks in the smell until you can dispose of it. Remember, even dogs need sunblock, so visit Noah's Ark today, Bermuda's most trusted animal supply store for all your summer essentials, and ask us about our rewards program.
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show. Jamel Hartman here. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medicals, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. Don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. All right, so, wow. We had some more. We've got a Buju. We did ask, is International Reggae Day your favorite reggae artist? Ford Knox says Buju. We've got Taurus Riley. She's royal. Yep. Can't go wrong with those. Question of the morning, we were talking about what are your thoughts on the impact of moped rentals to tourists? We got quite a few comments earlier that we'll go back to. We had the reviews that we shared. Derek Henderson says those are generic reviews, would have been the same if they had an electric vehicle review, in my opinion. But Rosalda Severin says, I'd be interested in seeing surveys after the rental accident, near accident. We need stats. And indeed. And Charles H. Jefferson II, he says, this may sound funny, but I wonder if tricycles would be safer. I mean, in South Florida, you see people driving all these fancy wheeled vehicles. Diana Gilbert says maybe the rental company can follow them around first before allowing them on the road, just like we want a car license. Rosalda Severin says, that's a business model change, Charles. This is what I'm saying. Look into your product, have options. Again, we were talking about Nick Thompson of Scooter Mart. He basically, this is from the Royal Gazette, was saying, stop discouraging bike rentals, says livery cycle owner. That's the title of the article. And he basically is claiming that many Bermudians are telling tourists not to rent mini electric cars. I think the audience, there was a consensus that we should not ban renting of moped bikes to visitors. But I like the idea, someone said earlier, I love the idea of having options, minibuses, cabs, electric vehicles, the new rideshare program, plus moped rentals. I think more options, because traditionally Bermuda did not have a lot of options. It was really ferry, bus, cab, and moped rentals. We've added to that now. I love to see the entrepreneurs in the minibuses. I love to see talent. Clark, he has one of the electric vehicle car companies. I like to see those options, because when I was working in Bermuda tourism, I'd tell you no lie, one of the things that came up when I would travel the US and try to get people to consider Bermuda is that their people couldn't independently just go out and enjoy Bermuda as they please. So that was a concern. However, companies were bringing people to Bermuda. They did not want the liability of their staff riding on a moped. So I'm speaking from actual experiences, right? They felt that renting cars in other destinations was safer than their employees renting mopeds in a place like Bermuda. So that's something to consider there. Michelle White says, we used to have tricycles, but they proved to be more dangerous than two wheels due to overturning. Rosalda Severin says, now we need water taxis. There was a water taxi in the newspaper some years ago, and why didn't it last? Like, what happened? I thought that we had one. Now, here's the thing with a water taxi. The upkeep, and then Bermuda's so seasonal, right? I'll be honest with you. I actually looked into it one time, went to a boat show. I was just like, man, Bermuda's just built so differently, right? But I love the idea. It's just about who can underwrite something where it'll make financial sense as a business. It's really about how it makes financial sense. Maybe you get corporate sponsors to support it and so on. So I love the idea though. Water taxi that can drop people to Shelly Bay, maybe take people throughout, the northern side of Bermuda. I know, you have the ferries that do their thing, Dockyard to St. George or Hamilton, whatever the route is. I don't ride it, but you get my point. Michelle White says we need to improve our transportation product to give options to people who cannot or do not want to ride. I think that's key to everything. I think improving our public transportation is a key to even reducing collisions on Bermuda's roads. I think we've had that discussion. Public transportation is essential to Bermuda, not just for visitors, but for locals as well. So, no, I agree with you. What else, audience? What else? What are your thoughts? Renee Simmons says, how safe are the Twizy, meaning electric vehicles? Twizy is actually the brand of one, but how safe are they? I have family coming for Cot Match and want to rent Twizys. I can't vouch for them. I don't know. I haven't ridden one. I mean, have any of the statistic companies done anything? Because you have seen news reports of people having collisions in them, right? You have seen that. So I don't want to sit here and say a Twizy seems much safer because, as I said earlier, as Charles said, we really don't have any data to say that. What we do know is that as far as reported collisions, our memory wouldn't show us as many Twizzies being involved as mopeds. Sean Smith says Mr. Nick Thompson probably needs to revisit his marketing and branding plan. I think that's what Dr. Roselda Severin said earlier. Yeah, I think, and it happens. It happens. I don't think people are angry or dislike Nick Thompson. They're just saying, bro, this is on you. You need to probably revisit something, check something out. This is not it. Don't get mad at people for looking out for their people, because as we asked earlier on in this show, how many of us would really vouch for our friends and family who are visiting Bermuda to rent a moped? And I honestly cannot tell you how many times I will tell them not to do that. Not because I want to hurt Nick Thompson's business. That's not the idea. But because I care about their safety, and I've never seen them, one, operate a vehicle on the other side of the road, and two, I've never seen them operate a two-wheeled vehicle. I've never seen not one of my family or friends outside of Bermuda operate not even a pedal bike. Seriously. So I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't recommend it to them. Charles H. Jeffers II, he says, the problem we have with EVs is that we don't have enough available for rent. Oh, I thought he was going to say the pricing. Heard it pretty up there, but hey, we ain't here to complain about pricing. It's about safety, convenience. Well, maybe that's a business opportunity for Mr. Thompson, Charles. If there's not enough, if they don't have as many, that may be what people mean when they say revisit his business model. Maybe he can enter that market, right? There's market share to be had in there. Fort Knox says Twizzlers are safe in my opinion. Yeah, on the eye, I would say Twizzlers are probably safer. Like Twizzies have four wheels. I know that most of my friends and people outside of Bermuda are used to operating on four wheels. So I would probably, if they wanted to rent something to be independent, I would probably recommend that instead. My concern would be them not realizing what side of the road they're supposed to be on. Yeah. Again, I forget as well. Derek Hendrickson says, four wheels on the ground at least means they don't have to try to balance in addition to not knowing where they are going. I think that's it. It's that simple. It's that simple. And keep in mind, what concerns me most, man, is, and you all have seen this. You all have seen this. I'm looking and I'm looking at the nervous wives and girlfriends on the back of these things. And I'm just like, I wonder if they felt so forced to get on these things. Nervous, man. Shikarina responds to Renee Simmons. I've rented Twizzlers twice. They are good. Bermuda has a lot of turns, and if you don't know them, it could be stressful. I knew them, and I was fine. Yeah, that person went right up into my pups' yard instead of making that turn right up the hill to go over Phoenix. What else, folks? What else? Got to take a final break. We'll come back. We'll wrap it up. We'll do the daily play. Someone's going to get it today. Someone will be eligible for this week's prize. But keep your responses coming. Keep your responses coming. Charles H. Jeffers II says the price is high, but that's economic supply and demand. My understanding is that the government limits the number of EVs. This was in response to complaints from taxi drivers. Okay. Shikarena says, most of my friends in the US only know how to drive forward, can't reverse, and if they see a hill, woo. Yeah. Renee Simmons says, I've rented Twizy, but I know the roads. To me, they are safer. Michelle White says, I believe the EVs have drive on the left guidelines on the dashboard for the driver. Okay, that's cool. All right, we're going to take a break. In the meantime, do us a favor, folks. Do us a favor. Whatever platform you're on, take this 55 seconds to give us a like, a love, a follow. Share this conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues, and we'll be back. And somebody's going to be real lucky when we get back. So stick with us in 55 seconds.
Take a look at our workbook for construction workers and tradesmen. Durable, stretchable in all the right places and plenty of options for tools and accessories. Paired with our wide range of tough and comfortable footwear, you can't go wrong. As you can see, Medical House really is a one-stop shop for everybody. We can't wait to see you.
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
All right, welcome back. Thanks again to everyone who's engaged this morning. Thanks again to the BAC group of companies, Medicals, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring we can do this with you on a daily basis. If you haven't already, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share the conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. It is time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Bermuda Trivia, the game show hosted by Patrina Power Girl, O'Connor Painter, and Mr. Photogenic, will be debuting next week, Monday. Make sure you follow Bermuda Trivia on every social media platform so you can find out where it will be premiering. You don't want to miss this. Some lucky people ran away with some big prizes, and it could have been you, but you didn't sign up. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and well, it's X and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. All right, audience, this one is on you. It's a Who Said It. It's a Who Said It. Let me get my music ready. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. Who said it? And it's someone who is the maker of a product that most of you use. No one got it? No one got it. That was an easy one. Okay, somebody got it. Chebion Postlewaite, my apologies if I pronounced it wrong, was the first to show up on my screen. Steve Jobs. Mark Arthur C. Phillips got it as well, second. Chebion Postlewaite, send an email. No, sorry. You're eligible for this week's prize. I almost tried to give it to you. You'll be eligible for this week's prize. So let me just make sure we get your name down, but it was Steve Jobs. I did say it, the maker of products many of us use. So Steve Jobs, the quote is, Quote, the only way to do great work is to love what you do, end quote. And I love that, folks. I hope everyone who's going back to work today for the traditional work week loves what they do, man. Honestly, it helps your day go by faster. It really does. I must ask, since the unofficial start of cup match season, we're going to do a roll call here. By a show of colors, who's your cup match team? Let's do it. Who is your cup match team? By a show of colors, who is your cup match team? Don't upset me, audience. Don't upset me. Make this good. Who's your cup match team? My head's down. I'm just hoping they say the right thing, Jamal. Who's your cup match? Let's do a cup match thing. I'm St. George's. You know who I am. Let's hear it from some George's people. Who's your cup match team, folks? Who's your cup match team? Give it to me. Give it to me. Where's the St. George's people at? Where are the St. George's people? St. George's, show up. Where we got? What we got? Here's your cup match team. Renee Somerset. Diana Gilbert, Somerset. Siobhan Postlewaite, Somerset. Charles H. Jefferson II, St. George's. Yes, yes. What is this color? Let's hope that's St. George's. Manuel, Somerset. Susanna, yes, yes. St. George's. Karen Simmons, St. George's. Yes, yes, yes. Bringing them home. Dwayne Nolan, St. George's. Yes. This looked like St. George's too. Sherilyn Johnson, St. George. That looks blue and black on my screen. That's St. George's. I don't see no red. Dawn Santucci, hold it. Somerset. That's right, Henley and Swan. You're an intelligent person anyway. That's right. Kathy Rogers, St. George's. They're showing up. St. George's, Derek Hendrickson, Dr. Severin, St. George's. Yes, yes. Come on. We're back, folks. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. I think we are back. We're back. We're back. We're back. Because all these years we've been outnumbered with those people like Sancha and Sherry, like those kind of people who have just, my goodness, we don't like them kind of people this kind of year, folks. We don't like them. We don't like them. No. So I love cup match season. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to keep this resolution of no trash talk. I don't. I'm doing my best, right? I tried doing my talking on the field last year. It didn't quite work out. But I'm trying it again this year. I'm going to see how far I can make it, folks. And I'm going to need your help. But work with me. I've turned over a new leaf. So help a brother out as I, do this thing where I'm trying to allow my team to do their talking on the field. All right. So yeah, St. George's, we're rocking it today. It's all St. George's, all St. George's. All I see is blue, a sea of blue, as it should be. Anyway, folks, I'm going to let you run. But happy cup match season. Don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Windows, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we can do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to this again with you tomorrow. I'm Jamal Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great day. We are out. Peace.